So there's a lot of questions on here about my love life, asking, are you single? Do you have a boyfriend? Can I be your boyfriend? Boyfriend question mark. If you're not single, want to go out for a date? Single or taken? Are you single? Do you have a boyfriend? Can I be your boyfriend? Single or taken? Are you single? Do you have a boyfriend? How is life after graduation? How's work? Your social media manager, right? Are you planning on getting a master's? You are so ambitious. How are you able to balance everything? How are you so perfect? You're so perfect. Do you miss how things were in the past? What moment recently made you stop and think, wow, this is my life? Thoughts on LDR, long distance relationships. Basically, what is one thing you look for in a man? Comfort movie and show. How has your idea of love changed over the years? So, how do you manage to stay motivated? Oh, another thing, YouTube scheduling for this channel. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is a long time coming because I haven't posted on here in a long time, and the last video that I posted was actually back last year when I was in Cabo. So it's what, July 16th, and a lot has happened. Like a lot has happened in all areas of my life. One of them being I graduated college with a bachelor's of science. Oh my gosh. This video is going to be Q&A. I'm answering your guys' questions to an Instagram poll that I posted a while ago, and at the same time I'm going to be giving you life updates because it's been a very long while. Yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Wait, but first I want to say I missed you guys so much. I know a lot of my friends at least have been asking me, when are you gonna be posting your next video? When are you going to be making more content? I'm like, wait a second, there's like a lot. I have a lot of content and I've been vlogging a lot of things in my life, but I haven't been able to have the time to edit any of them. Oh my gosh, wait, I just realized this is the year where I also launched my business / brand, Eliara. Oh my gosh, okay, I have so much to catch you guys up on. Let's just go into the questions for now. How is life after graduation? Amazing. Literally, I am living my dream life right now. Parts of my dream life where I am working as a social media manager for a marketing / advertising company, which is one of the questions that you guys had, which was, how's work? Your social media manager, right? So I'll go more in depth into that. So far after graduation, I graduated May 1st and May 3rd, and then 2 weeks after I graduated, I officially got the job as a social media manager. I was talking to the CEO himself, and then he was like, come into the office and we'll get to know you better. I ended up doing the whole process and I ended up getting the job. I'm so happy. Literally, what I've been telling a lot of people is that it's literally like I'm living the Emily in Paris life. Of course not in Paris, but I'm living how she's basically living career-wise, on top of doing a lot of social media stuff for different clients. I'm also going to a lot of different events just because we're sponsoring a lot of events and going to a lot of events. So it's been very busy, but also incredibly amazing. I've also been working on Eliara more just because the past 6 months of this year was more focused on graduating. I decided that I really should focus on school and graduating instead of focusing more on Eliara. And if you guys don't know what Eliara is, it's a self-development and mental health, wellness, self-love brand. You should go follow on Instagram and YouTube. I'll link it somewhere there. What the heck? I'll link it somewhere there and also in the description box. But yeah, I have been way more active on Instagram, TikTok, and even like Facebook for Eliara, but not so much on YouTube with the long form content because that takes a lot of time and editing that I'm still trying to balance out. And also on top of me having my social media manager work, I'm also working as a freelance social media manager, and it's been amazing. I'm basically basically doing videography slash social media stuff at the same time, literally living my dream life. And sometimes I forget that. A lot of stuff has been happening in my personal life as well, a lot of growing, a lot of healing, a lot of transforming. I'm not gonna get into details on those just because it's more personal, but yeah, there's just been a lot of staying true to myself and finally respecting myself more and not being afraid to set boundaries with other people. A lot of moving on and healing and growing and finding the right people in my life. So I don't know, honestly, I'm in the best place so far in my life right now, and I couldn't be happier. Are you planning on getting a master's? Yes, I definitely am. Right now I want to say like at least 1 or 2 years of just taking a break from school because I have been grinding my butt off academically. Now I need real life experience, and so right now I just kind of want to take a break from school. Even though it has honestly been weird and hard, you're telling me that I'm not studying my whole butt off every single morning and night to get A's and to do well in my classes. Like, it's kind of been a transition. At first I was like, this is so weird, I'm not going to school. And then next month my friends, oh my gosh, my friends are going back to school, and then we were like, oh my gosh, you're starting school. A butterfly, did you see that? Anyway, you're starting school in August and I don't even have to go to school anymore. That's so weird. I literally forgot about that. So yeah, it's just been really weird. This is the first summer ever that I have not done summer classes since high school to get ahead. So it's weird, but at the same time, it also doesn't feel as weird because I've been extremely busy overworking myself. Yay. This summer is basically what my other summers were looking like, just not for school, but me literally being busy every single day and having a lot of tasks to do. And instead of going to summer classes online, now it's going to work and different meetings for Heartline and doing stuff for Eliara. So it's just been a lot. You are so ambitious. Thank you. It's a thing I'm trying to balance out. I think there are times where I need to remind myself that I don't have to always be on the next big thing all the time. I can slow down and rest, and I should be resting and I need to rest instead of working all the time. But you know what? It's something that I'm still learning. I'm doing way better. There's a lot of progress that I've been making when it comes to balancing things out. You are so perfect. I am not perfect, but thank you. How are you able to balance everything? It's been a very big struggle of mine just because I have a lot on my plate. I have so many leadership roles for so many different organizations. I am a CEO and founder of Eliara. I am doing my whole job thing with social media manager as well as freelancing and trying to balance that out with my other responsibilities, trying to make time for myself and trying to make time for my family and my friends. So it's been very hard, not gonna lie. I still do all-nighters and having to sleep really late or wake up really early with getting 1 to 2 hours of sleep after, just because of how a lot of things have been going lately, especially for Heartline Society. Recently, a close friend of mine, Mackie, and I are co-leading a non-profit organization called Heartline Society. He's the team lead and I'm the secretary slash assistant campaign manager, and we have teams here in Utah, we have teams in different states and also globally like Dubai and India and France. So we have different teams, and of course that means a lot of meetings. And so there's been a lot of times where I have 6-hour meetings, 7-8-hour meetings non-stop, and that goes from a lot of times, let's say 7 p.m. on a Sunday to 1 a.m. on a Monday morning. So I'm always constantly in meetings, and then if I'm not in those meetings, I'm in other meetings for the other organizations that I'm leading and part of the leadership for. So it's a lot, but we are partnering up with the LS Foundation for this one project. We're raising money and funds for blood cancer research. We're going, oh my gosh, we're in a competition that starts January 2026, and it's a 7-week competition. We're the first team here in Utah to be picked, so we have a really huge head start, which is why we're doing a lot of planning and organizing different events. I don't really want to spoil too much, but let's just say there's a lot of big events that we're planning on hosting and that we're already getting ready for. We're talking to the mayors and CEOs of different companies and networking and doing so much stuff, so it's a lot. Even just meetings, if we're not meeting with our team members, it's meetings between Mackie and I, so that takes up so much of my time, and having to balance all of that out, it's hard because I also get really drained. I barely have time for myself. But what I am trying to remember and what I have been implementing is that I cannot keep doing this to myself. Just because you have a lot of dreams and you're very ambitious and you have a lot of goals doesn't mean you have to do them all at once at the same time. You can take a little bit of steps for each one, and if you don't hit a certain goal, say you have a set time frame and you don't hit a goal, it's okay. Just breathe, relax, and remember that you don't need to speed things up because you're exactly where you're meant to be right now. And when it comes to your goals, the pressure to succeed, I get that because you have very high standards for yourself. It's not just society and other people like your parents or your friends putting that high of an expectation on yourself. Majority of the time, you feel guilty of not being able to achieve your goals at the specific timeline and deadline that you set for yourself because you're so hard on yourself, because you're scared that if you don't accomplish all these things, you're nothing. You're unworthy of all these different successes if you're not constantly hustling and working hard. And that would mean if you don't see yourself, let's say, working an all-nighter just to get a project done or to get another task done, then you're going to feel guilty for resting and going to sleep when you know you could have been working on getting something done so that you can get more tasks jotted off the list. But what I have been learning is that it's okay to slow down. It's okay to not feel guilty when you relax. You can relax. Like, there are so many times that when I do my number one stress reliever, which is watching movies and shows, I end up feeling very guilty. And it's like, how can I be productive while I'm relaxing? I'm still multitasking, even though I'm supposed to be relaxing. It's okay to just slow down, relax, do one thing at a time. Don't expect that you always have to be on the run just so that you are worthy of your dreams. And a lot of times it's also having to say no and setting boundaries. Let's say a friend wants to go out somewhere, but you know that prior to them asking you to hang out, you already allocated that time for yourself, finally for yourself. But then your friend asks you, hey, can we hang out? I really want to hang out with you and it's been so long. That's where you have to figure out how to set better boundaries, because of course you don't want to keep flaking on your friend and not giving them the love and attention and quality time that they deserve, because you're friends with them for a reason, especially if it's a very healthy relationship. But at the same time, if you want to say no and be like, hey, I am actually feeling very tired right now, I don't have the energy to hang out, I'd rather just spend time with myself, is it okay if we can schedule another time to hang out? That's really good boundary setting. So don't be afraid. Oh my gosh, this is a busy street, that's why. Okay, sorry for the lighting, but okay, motorcycle. Don't be afraid to say no and to put boundaries when you need them, especially if you haven't been taking off time for yourself. And when it comes to balancing time out with my friends do know that I am very busy, and that's why we schedule plans in advance to hang out. I have friends that I schedule hangout times with them a month before, just because of how packed my schedule is. And then when the next month comes, I'm like, okay, I dedicated time for them. And because I dedicated time for them, even though they may have to wait a while, they understand. And I'm so lucky to have very understanding friends where they understand that we don't always have to hang out and I don't always have to respond to them quickly. They understand and respect my space and my time, as well as they know how no matter how busy I get, I'll always always make time for them. One way or another, I'll always make time for them. I don't like the sliding. It's been very helpful to have friends who really understand me and who respect my space and my time. But at the same time, I can't always be working on my dreams and on my career. There are times where I am allowed to relax and I need to put in the effort to spending time and making time for the right people in my life. So it's been a really good balance that I've created. I'm not gonna lie, I do wish that I could spend more time with my friends and not be too much of a workaholic, but the way that I have been spending a lot of time with my friends this year compared to back then, it's something that I'm very proud of myself for. Next question. I'm getting a lot of how are you so perfect? You're so perfect. This is something I do want to address. I am not perfect, you guys. I make mistakes and there are things about me that I still need to work on. Of course, no one is perfect because we're all human, but I do recognize that there are a lot of times where a lot of people, especially because of social media, they tend to see all of the good parts of your life and they tend to see your best self because, of course, you want to portray your best self on social media. Even just in real life, you want to portray you have it all together. But in reality, what no one sees is all the behind the scenes of being hard on yourself and crying because you feel like you're not enough or you feel like you're too behind in life or you're comparing yourself to other people. They're already doing this at this age and I'm the same age as them, but I'm not where they are in life. So it's like, yes, it's harder, especially in our generation. Butterfly! There's a butterfly! Oh my god. It is harder, especially in our generation, to remember and recognize that not everyone is always all happy and all smiles all the time. There's always something going on behind the scenes. I know a lot of people keep saying, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. You're able to talk to all of those CEOs. Like, you're so lucky. But then at the same time, it's like, no, I'm not lucky. I worked hard for this. You just didn't see it. You just didn't see the effort that I was putting in. I've been getting a lot of texts recently and people are saying, how are you surrounded by so many high professional people like that? Those are the people that you're talking to and that you're working with. They think that it's just quick and easy, like, oh, I wished upon a genie and my wish was granted. But no, I had to put in the work to get there, and all the things I did years ago, all of those different efforts started culminating and just packing one on top of the other, which is why I'm able to have all these different kinds of experiences and these opportunities because I put in the hard work. When other people were playing games, let's say Valorant, I was at home studying my butt off or overworking myself just so that I could get another project done. So it's just based on where you spend your time. And that doesn't mean that one person is better than the other. It just means that every single person has different priorities. And that doesn't mean that one is less perfect or one is more perfect. It just shows that everyone is on their own timeline and that's the perfect timeline for them. So when you compare yourself to someone else, remember that you may be the same age or you may be around the same age range, but you are operating on a different frequency than they are because your life paths are totally different and your interests and hobbies and goals are totally different. So of course you're not going to be on the same path doing the exact same thing. Don't make it be as, oh my gosh, you're so perfect, I'm placing you on a high pedestal. Please also remember to value and respect yourself in a way that you don't undermine all of your efforts and all of the time and energy that you're putting into your own hobbies and your own interests. The only person that you are competing with is your past self and not someone else. So instead of putting someone else on a pedestal, put your higher self on a pedestal. Higher self meaning the version of you that you want to be, that dream version of you, that girl or that guy. Stop putting other people on a pedestal. It's natural, yes, but that's where you have to become self-aware and introspective introspect, do some reflection upon yourself and be like, okay, take a step back. Why am I placing that person on a high pedestal? And if that makes me uncomfortable or jealous or something, what can I do to make sure that I am proud of who I am instead of being so jealous of that person's accomplishments? You can achieve whatever you want to achieve. You just have to put in the work. And that's something that people just don't understand. They don't see the behind the scenes of all the work that other people have been doing. So just remember that no one is perfect. All of us are human, and we should all love ourselves, even the imperfectly perfect version of ourselves. Next question. That was a long one. Do you miss how things were in the past? Honestly, no. I mean, there are times where I do reminisce about certain situations and certain memories, but it's not to the point where it's like, I want to go back to the past. I want to make a time machine and travel back to the past and live in the past. Like, no, I'm focusing on my present and on my future in accepting who I am now and making sure that I work toward the life that I'm dreaming of. I also know that everything happens for a reason. If, let's say, a relationship or a situation didn't work out with something or someone, that chapter of my life is over. They were just a chapter in my life. It served its purpose, and now it's time to move on to the next thing. I'm not going to live in the past just because I miss something or just because I miss how I felt during that moment. You know, I want to start focusing on myself and what I want instead of having to put all my energy and time into things that are already over, that have already served its purpose. Like, let's say a person, it could have been let into your life for a certain amount of time just to teach you a lesson, or just so that in the future you know how to deal with that and you know where your self-respect is, and so that you don't say, oh, I'm inexperienced. Like, that situation, that person was brought into your life to give you an experience or to help remind you of things that you need to work on, or even mirror things about yourself so you can see, oh my gosh, I still have a lot of things to work through, or oh my gosh, I am so proud of myself. I didn't let myself do something when in the past that was a pattern that I was always doing. Like, I was able to break that pattern and you didn't notice that until that person came into your life. So everything happens for a reason, but also certain things end when they're supposed to end for a reason. Honestly, for me, how I see it is that there's no reason to keep going back when there's something out there waiting for you that's way better and more fitted for you, and basically everything you have ever wanted and needed and more. I am grateful and appreciative for all of my past memories and all the people in my past, but no, there's not anyone or some kind of memory or whatever that I would want to go back to. It's over. Time to move on. Next. What moment recently made you stop and think, wow, this is my life? Basically, every day. I think more so June. It was after a situation happened where I started to put myself first more, and then after putting myself first and starting to reflect on all the things that I have done and how much progress I have made, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm living my dream life and I forgot. I didn't even realize that. Like, what? And there are a lot of other different opportunities and projects that I'm working on behind the scenes that I haven't told anyone, sometimes not even to my closest friends. I still want to keep that under wraps, but it's like, oh my gosh, back then I would just be talking about this or dreaming about this, or I would think that it's a dream that's too unattainable to reach. But look at where I am now. I'm doing all these things. Even back then, I've always dreamt of being a CEO. I've always dreamt of starting my own business and graduating a year early, and now I've done all that. Like, what the heck? Oh my gosh, like, what the heck? What? It's still something that I have to process at times. That actually happened. Oh my gosh, Lana, I'm so proud of you. What else? Thoughts on LDR, long distance relationships. So basically, it's half and half, but then there has been a change in my perspective as well on this. So back then when I was younger, I was kind of iffy, but also like, I want to, oh my gosh, so many bugs. I was like, I want to try it out. I know long distance is hard, but it must be worth it for the right person. So I did have one long distance relationship, but then after that, it kind of left me to feel like maybe long distance isn't for me. I remember for a couple of years now, all my friends know this. They know that I was super, super strict in not having a long distance relationship. They were like, hey, I know this one guy who is in a different state who might be a really good match for you. But then I'm like, I don't know. You know, I kind of want to be cautious. I want to be careful. Of course, that doesn't mean I'm going to completely close off, but I'm going to be more picky about the types of situations that I'm choosing to go in. So for a long while, I decided, no, we're not doing long distance. He needs to either live here or move here or something. But then it wasn't until this year where I was like, you know what? Maybe long distance. I'm still very iffy on it, but I'll open up the idea to maybe entertaining a long distance relationship if it's with the right person. There would, of course, need to be in-person visits and a lot of really, really good communication. That's the thing. If I am going to go into a long distance relationship with someone, the communication and the emotional maturity needs to be there. It needs to be there. That's a non-negotiable. And if it's not there, then thank you, but no thank you. You still have to have trust within the relationship. I'm going to obviously trust them as long as they're proving to me consistently that I can trust them. But if they break that trust, then why would I want to entertain it further, you know? Yeah, that's just the thing with me in long distance relationships. Now I'm more open to it, but I'm still iffy. I'm gonna have to be very careful and tread carefully when it comes to long distance relationships. So there's a lot of questions on here about my love life, asking, are you single? Do you have a boyfriend? Can I be your boyfriend? Boyfriend question mark. If you're not single, want to go out for a date? Single or taken? Are you single? Do you have a boyfriend? Can I be your boyfriend? Single or taken? Are you single? Do you have a boyfriend? No comment. One thing I will answer though from all those love relationship type of questions you guys are asking is, what is one thing you look for in a man? Emotional maturity and really good communication. I'm talking about consistent communication and consistent effort. If you want to ghost me for a week or something, go ahead, do your thing, but don't expect me to chase you, you know? You need to have self-respect and self-love and emotional maturity. Emotional maturity especially, I cannot. I cannot emphasize how much you need emotional maturity and consistent communication and consistent effort, real effort to make a relationship work. There's a lot of other things, like I have a whole list. Oops. Hey. Okay, I have a whole list on what I look for in a man, but those are some of the main things. Also patience and understanding, being very understanding. Oh, and romantic. The man has to be romantic. I love romance. I grew up with fairy tales and all that, so yeah. Comfort movie and show, Harry Potter. Harry Potter. I really love Harry Potter. Hidden Love, I love. It's a Chinese drama. It's my #1 favorite Chinese drama. And then also Gossip Girl. I love Gossip Girl, and I'm such a huge Blair Waldorf fan. Blair Waldorf is literally me. So like, let's see, what else? How has your idea of love changed over the years? So I'm not going to say everything because I'm going to be talking for a long time, but love is not enough to stay in a relationship. There has to be respect and maturity and honesty and boundaries and understanding. It just can't be love. Just because you love a person so much doesn't mean that you're meant to be together. It just means that maybe you had a really, really, really deep bond with them, but that doesn't mean that because that bond is there, you're meant to stay with them forever. There are going to be certain people who will come into your life. They could be just a seasonal lesson, or you were in a relationship with them for a couple of years, but that doesn't mean that they're meant to stay in your life. They are just just meant to teach you something and to help you experience your idea of love. And why in choice of words I say your idea of love instead of actual love is because there's a difference between true love and love that you always knew and what you always thought love would be, like what you imagined love would be like, versus actual true love. Love is not enough. You can love someone all you want. You can imagine getting married to them and having a future with them, having kids with them, and growing old with them, but just because you both love each other or just because you love them doesn't mean that that relationship is meant to be forever. It doesn't mean that that person is meant to be your forever. It can be very annoying sometimes and discouraging at times, but at the same time it's so beautiful because it's like, this is what I love thought was like, and I love this person so intensely. That just means that I know how to love so intensely. I'm able to love someone like that. I have the capacity in me to love someone like that. Just imagine loving the right person. Like, insane. And another thing is that, of course, you need to put an effort into a relationship. You need to talk about things, even the hard stuff, the serious talks, being very vulnerable. They need to make sure that you feel safe with them and that they feel safe with you. But then at the same time, what was I saying? I don't even remember, bro. What was I saying? Oh, that's what I was talking about. So you need to put an effort into a relationship, of course. Both sides need to put an effort or else it's going to be very, very unhealthy. And also the honesty and everything. But at the same time, it's like, if I have to go so much out of my way for you, like I have to chase you down for you to see my worth, and I have never given you a reason to doubt that I'm here for you and that I'm committed to us in the relationship, and then all of a sudden something happens, someone isn't being as committed as they were to the point that it becomes very unhealthy, why stay, you know? Hi. Water. Ja. You. Okay. He. Lola. No matter what type of abuse it is, no matter what type of manipulation or whatever, it's still a form of manipulation. It's still a form of disrespect. No matter how little, no matter if the person realizes it or not. They disrespected you. They physically abused you. They emotionally abused you. Don't settle for less just because you think that you're never gonna find someone like that again. And thank goodness that you're never gonna find someone like that again. Thank goodness, because you can find and be with someone way better than they are, who will actually treat you well. Start having respect for yourself, and that's something that I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn how to have respect for myself in the way I do now, in the way that I am giving tough love to all my friends and to the people that I love and care about, because I've been in those situations and finally realized that you're really just romanticizing the version of them that you wanted them to be. You're looking at their potential and looking at how much history you guys have instead of looking at how they're actually treating you at this specific moment. You could be saying, oh, they can change, like I can help them change. Believe me. Believe me. I am not. I was the CEO of I am going to help them, and I am going to be the person that will finally change them. No one can change them, but I can change them, and I'm going to make sure of that. No, leave them. Finally have some respect for yourself. Oh my gosh, I am so passionate about this because I had to learn the hard way, and I don't want the people I love to be in that same situation that I was. Because if I was only listening to my friends who were telling me this exact advice, and instead of me disregarding them or hearing their advice but not listening to what they're saying, I would not be in so much pain. I would not have experienced that much pain that I've experienced back then. So please have respect for yourself and start loving yourself more. There's way more out there, way better people for you. The perfect match is out there for you. You just have to let the person or the situation go first. You have to first let them go, then start truly loving yourself and truly being at peace with yourself, and then that right fit for you, the right job or the right friendship, relationship will finally come into your life. But you need to first let that go, be at peace with yourself, love yourself, respect yourself, and then they will come in. Anyway, this is becoming more of like an LER type of thing, so I'm gonna keep on going with the questions. The battery is about to die in a bit, so I'm going to be answering just a little bit more. How do you manage to stay motivated? Honestly, discipline over motivation. There are times where I have like a burst of motivation, and sometimes it comes at the most stupidest times, like at 3 a.m. in the morning, or right when I'm trying to sleep but can't because I have that sudden burst of motivation. But anyway, asking myself my why. Why am I doing this in the first place? What made me want to do this in the first place? What is my goal? In what ways is this going to help me? In what ways will this help other people? It's like, why? But then I remember this is where the discipline comes in, where even if I feel unmotivated, I still do it. I allocate 30 minutes or let's say 10 minutes, and then when I actually start doing it, that 10 minutes becomes 30 minutes, that 30 minutes becomes an hour, even though I set myself a 5-minute timer or a 10-minute timer. Your brain works in a way where in your head it feels like it's a big thing, because you feel like it's a huge thing that you have to get done, or it's part of the thing that will help you achieve your goal, which at the same time you feel like you want to kind of procrastinate subconsciously because your fear of having that dream is also scary. You fear not achieving your dream, but you also fear achieving that dream, if that makes sense, because of all the different ways that it can go. And it's like, once you achieve that dream, what's next? Or, oh my gosh, I achieved this dream, but it would mean that I have to show myself and get out of my comfort zone. The commitment is scary. Discipline is what helps you get through all of that and being like, okay, even just 5 minutes, I'll do it. One of the huge things everyone knows me for is me saying the littlest things goes a long way. So just doing small steps each day, no matter how small, will get you there if you keep going at it at a consistent pace. So that is it for today's video, you guys. I know it's probably long. I was like yapping. I have been talking for more than an hour and a half, you guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Oh, another thing, YouTube scheduling for this channel, for Level Up Diaries. I am going to be more consistent now. That's why I'm trying to get this video done, because at first I was editing my graduation video because I vlogged all of that, but then I was like, you know what? I think there's a better transition that I can do, which is this video, and then going into the graduation video, and then all the vlogs that I did after graduation, which is a lot of content, but I'm going to be, and I'm going to prove myself. This is not even for you guys, but this is for future Lana, being like, okay, this is my commitment right now, and all of you guys are who can make me accountable. These vlogs are more for my entertainment and for documenting my life. It's more of like a passion project instead of like, here guys, see what my life looks like. No, it's more for me to document how much I have grown over the years. Yeah, anyway, my plan is that every Friday I will be posting on this channel, and I am very much hoping that I can finally actually commit and have that balance in my work personal life, that I can do that. So yes, Fridays at, let's say, what, 7 p.m? Yeah, let's try 7 p.m. So Friday, 7 p.m. I don't know about that graduation vlog though. That will take a long time to edit, so that might be, for at least that graduation video, it will be 2 weeks. Hi Nancy. Hi, how are you? Yeah. That's my neighbor. She always gives us food, and we're so grateful for it. Bye! Have a good day! But I love her so much. She has these 2 cute doggies, and I really wanted to adopt them, but my parents were like, no. Really? They're 2 doggies, and they're like twin doggies, and then they're so adorable, they're so cute, and then they're like running around, and then they're always like sniffing me and like trying to like get me to pet them and everything, and it's, yeah! I love doggies. I'm super obsessed with doggies. If I was an animal, my spirit animal is a doggy. I am very playful and energetic and like, you know, I wanna show love and like cling, you know? Anyway, that is it for today's video. I will be posting every Friday, hopefully, except for maybe this graduation vlog, which will probably be out in, if not 2 weeks, 3 weeks when this vlog is posted, so that I can be more consistent and actually respect the deadlines and promises I'm making to myself and to you guys as well, because this wouldn't be Level Up Diaries if it weren't for you guys supporting me. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for all your support, even now, and for all the patience. I don't even know if these videos and vlogs are entertaining. I mean, it would be nice if they're entertaining to you guys, but it's more just of me wanting to document my life, and it's always been something I've been doing ever since I was little, even before YouTube became a big thing. Yes, I'm exposing myself on how old I am. Thank you again so much for watching today's video, for always supporting me. And my battery died, but just turn those notifications on so that you can see an insight into what my life looks like. And I can't believe that I've been filming for 2 hours and I'm sitting in 100-degree weather. So yeah, I'm gonna get a popsicle or whatever, but bye! I love you guys. Bye!
Woke up at 11 o'clock, I ain't got no job, what the hell should I do today?